Hello, everyone. Today is August 7th. Today is a Friday. Today, I ended up taking two trades today. Ended up netting me negative $109 today for both trades. First trade was definitely an error. We can go over both trades, but just starting out, we can go over. Clearly, we saw that we had NFP wick here from 8:30 news this morning. So for this first trade, we should have definitely waited for news to be swept, these data lows, and then eventually ended up getting our winning trade right here on the second trade. But with that being said, we can start with the bias going over starting on the 4 hour time frame. I know we did have NFP today, so it could have made things a little bit weird, but honestly, it was just a mental error that went through my brain today in regards to we should have waited for those data lows to get swept. But other than that, the second trade was definitely A plus, played out within a few minutes. But back to what I was saying with the bias, today we had a very clear bullish bias because we closed above this 2 a.m. candle high right here. 6 a.m. candle closed above it. So for 10 a.m., I wanted to see us open lower and have a high close. Currently, we did create the wick lower, and now we're trying to distribute higher. My overall draw for the day, this doesn't matter, but just for looking back, I want to possibly see that this 10 a.m. 4 hour candle distribute to this 6 a.m. candle high right here. But in regards to my strategy, that doesn't matter at all. That's just going over a little bit of bias and marking out the external draw. So for the first trade that we can go over, my point of interest that I used was a 30-minute order block, which was right here. So I can mark this out with the blue line right here. So when we came into the 30-minute order block originally, this is when 10 a.m. opened right here. So this was 10 a.m. opening price. And we can just go back in time so we can review what I was saying. So here's 10 a.m. opening price, right? We open, we come down into this 30-minute order block. So I'm thinking, okay, perfect. We're good for a long. I just wanted to follow the strategy very mechanically, but the discretion was not there. And this was our data low right here for NFP. So I was ready to take a long. We had our stop hunt right here, this swing low. So structure in regards to the entry function looked good for, the entry. So I'm going to mark out 10 a.m. opening price right here. So I was ready to take a long. We had our point of interest, we had our bias, and now all I was looking for was the entry function. And we ended up getting the entry right here. Okay, we end up creating this bullish CISD. And I went long here. I believe it was with 2 micros, $285. And, this was sort of a stupid trade, but I'm definitely journaling it right now. And we get stopped out basically within 4 candles right here. And then so after this trade, I was like, okay, I definitely want to see these NFP data lows get taken out before we long. And also, the internal structure looks a lot better on the 4 hour time frame. As you can see here, we created this 4 hour gap right here. So second of all, the second trade would be a lot better just because we're longing from a 4 hour internal gap, which is technically like my favorite place to long from, which is fair value gaps, whether it be on the 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, or 4 hour time frame. So we have a 4 hour gap. So I was like, okay, well, we need to go into the 4 hour gap, and then this would also be sweeping out these NFP lows. So that'd be, more conviction, better. We create another stop hunt right here, and then we create this CISD right here. So from this point, I long again. I only risked one micro just because the 2 micros was going to be worth $300. So, hypothetically, if I were to lose this trade, that would have put me down almost $600 on the day, which I did not want that to happen. So I de-risked a little bit on the second trade, just in case this trade did lose, but we fortunately ended up winning. So took a little bit, and then right here. So very quick trade. Delivering from this 4-hour gap, sweeping NFP lows, created a stop hunt, very clean CISD with displacement. This was definitely the A plus trade of the day. Again, this external target could be like a long-term draw for people that are like technically holding for longer, but my strategy just follows a 1-to-1 risk reward. So I just followed the 1-to-1 risk reward. Definitely want to journal this day. I know it's a Friday, and with my back testing, Fridays are usually like my lowest win rate day. I basically have about a 63% win rate on Fridays, but definitely A plus trade right here on the second trade, and I'll show you guys my P&L, and that's how I took both those trades. So here's my P&L, down about $109 total for the day. Not bad, managed my risk very well, and I look forward to enjoying the weekend. Hope you guys had a good trading day, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Thank you guys.